all, I just want to recognize the historical and cultural significance of this 70-year-old facility. The countless events that have been here, the people that it has brought here, the creative talent that has been brought to our community over decades of work in this facility. And that's significant because it was last year that Southern Methodist University does an arts vibrancy study across the nation. And it was last year that Canton and Massillon were named the 8th most arts vibrant mid-sized community in the United States. And that has a lot to do with the work that's happening and the acts that Blake is bringing in and the work that we do together downtown.
Talk to us a little bit about that bigger picture of long-term redevelopment plans. I think we maybe even have some slides.
Like a $40 million expansion in the Civic Center, and I want to stress to everyone that that is the wish list. Where could we possibly be someday? The goal, now the first thing that we have to do is we have to get our house in order. So what do I mean by that? If we're going to make a major renovation to the Civic Center, the goal is going to be to get everything done on the inside, so if we do someday pull the trigger on a major renovation on the outside, that we can still remain open for business. So I'm talking about expanding the bathrooms. We already touched on that. We're going to get the lighting done. I mean, you can't even, if we do a show, you can't even dim the lights. Everything's original. And, you have the new sound system. I was talking to Blake about getting some, screens in there, like, boards and stuff like that, like we have for the Gold Jacket dinner, and really bringing it up. But what about replacing the seats? The seats in the arena are original. So when Blake needs parts, he's robbing out of one section because you just can't get the parts anymore. So that is going to be the goal, and I think it's a very achievable goal. So when you talk about, recently Kansas City Council passed an admissions tax, which is a 3% tax, or you could call it an entertainment tax. So we are no different than any other community, and when you really think about how does the city of Sandusky survive, they survive in a place called Cedar Point. 7 months out of the year, they got an 8% admissions tax and a parking tax. We are not looking to reinvent the wheel, but it could generate an additional revenue stream. When you think about when Carrie Underwood plays at Tom Benson Stadium, 90% of the people that are going to attend that concert are not from Canton. They're going to be coming from Akron, they're going to be coming from other communities, even outside the county. But even by having that admissions tax, that will give us the ability for the city to bond against the admissions tax, to do major renovations of the Civic Center, possibly putting a stage, a roof on Centennial Plaza eventually, and stuff like that. Where we could have, in a sense, we could have a mini convention center. I know the conversations have happened in the past about, Canton really could use a convention center. If you're asking for my opinion as a new mayor, the market is not there right now. Maybe 10 to 15 years from now, possibly. And I know that the conversation is always going to come up about competing against the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Fame Village. One thing, I don't think that's the case, to be honest with you. If the Hall of Fame, and the Hall of Fame was originally talking about building a venue and moving possibly the Hall of Fame, the Gold Jacket dinner and stuff up there, if they would do that, I would wish them the best. But it doesn't mean that we're going to shut the doors. That means we're going to do the Hall of Fame. I want to stress to everybody, the Hall of Fame and the chamber events that we do are very, very, very important to the city. The Hall of Fame is the identity for Canton. But I want to stress to everybody, that's 1 week out of the year.
Well, that's very exciting, and I, looking at that vision, definitely gives me a lot of optimism for the future.
Chairman of the board hat of the Chamber of Commerce on, and so both organizations utilize the Civic Center, and I'll remain on the Arts and Start board. The business community has got to be behind this project. It won't be successful without the business community behind it. It will take the nonprofit community, the business community, and government to make this work. And I would argue that funding we can't just rely on funding from our local foundations. We need to seek funding outside of the county, whether that's Columbus, whether that's outside of Ohio, whether that's from the federal government. I think we need to really look at all types of revenue.